everyone, Darren here, and on today's episode of WoTC Academy we are going to look at how to play the Tier 10 Russian medium tank, the Object 140. This tank is commonly accepted by the community to be one of the best Tier 10 Russian mediums out of the 6 available to us. So, let's get started. Now, the armor on the 140 is pretty average in terms of the original trio of Russian mediums. The hull leaves much to be desired, and at certain angles is capable of bouncing some shots, but overall do not count on your hull armor. The turret is another story. While not as reliable as the T-62As, the turret is still able to bounce shots with some reliability, especially when in an effective hull down position. As usual, everywhere else is less armored and susceptible to artillery and large caliber guns. Do also be aware that the weak top of the turret does extend down the front of the turret to be a point of a possible risk factor. Now, in terms of mobility, the 140 is very mobile. With a forward speed of 55 km per hour and a reverse speed of 20 km per hour, you will have no trouble getting to where you need to go, or wolf pack without difficulty. And, of course, you can reverse out of danger if need be. As for the 12% chance of fire, this means you could almost effectively forego running a fire extinguisher if you choose to do so. But be warned that the fuel tanks do tend to get hit very often. Now, in terms of firepower, the 140 is a pretty good 100mm main gun. With a base accuracy of .35, a base reload time of 6.6 seconds, and a base aim time of 2.1 seconds, this gun will allow you to quickly acquire your targets and engage them with relative efficiency. This gun is a very good gun for Tier 10 wolfpacking, and it has a fast enough rate of fire that there is a potential that when facing most larger caliber gun tanks, that you could dish out potentially 2 to 3 rounds for every one of theirs. As for the gun depression of 6 degrees and the elevation of 17 degrees, you will have trouble fighting in and around ridgelines and hills compared to the NATO counterparts, but you will fare much better than most other Soviet mediums. Now, how do you set up the 140? Well, in terms of consumables, I run 30 APCR, 20 heat, and 0 HE. I also run a repair kit, a first aid kit, and a fire extinguisher because of my luck with artillery. But you can forgo the fire extinguisher and use food or gas if you wish to do so. For equipment, I run an advanced loader, advanced optics, and a gun stabilizer to improve the vision and gun handling of the 140. Of course, you can drop optics for improved ventilation if you wish to do so. Now, for the commander setup, I recommend running the Jack of all trades medium setup I mentioned in my commander video. A link to that video will be in the description. But for the sake of this video, the recommended skills are the following, and in no particular order: Born Leader, Rapid Loading, Steady Aim, Sixth Sense, Track Mechanic, Situational Awareness, Snapshot, Run and Gun, and Marked Target. Of course, you can set up the commander to suit your preferences as needed. So, how do you play the Object 140? Well, this vehicle originally, back in the day, was viewed as a Wolfpack tank at Tier 10. Essentially imagine a Vanguard, just without an autoloader, and bigger and at Tier 10. And this type of playstyle can still be possible today. But in terms of the current meta, the 140 is more so seen as a flanker harasser type of medium. Using its very high speeds, you can get opportunistic and strong positions quickly for initial engagement, and then also relocate to other positions with ease. If you partner this playstyle with other tanks from the original trio or other high-speed tanks, you have a recipe for an effective and deadly wolf pack on the battlefield. That concludes how to set up and play the Object 140. Let's take a look at some gameplay. So here we are on Vineyard's Standard Battle. Now I must apologize, of course, because I'm sure some of you may recognize this. This is from a live stream recently, and so we all are familiar with how that works. There's a logo blocking my face, and the audio is down so you don't hear me and confuse me with me and the usual stuff. Yeah. So, anyway, we are on the western spawn. Again, this was probably maybe like the 5th time I've seen this map, and so I was expecting to probably and very honestly get killed very quickly in the game, because it seems like no one ever goes north, and this is essentially just a reversed Prokhorovka with added things to it, especially on the other side of the railroad tracks. But on the northern side, it's pretty much just a reverse Prokhorovka with a couple terrain differences. So I head this way because this area is the most suited to sniping TDs, mobile medium tanks, light tanks, and mevies and stuff. This is where you should be going. Brawling heavies and brawling TDs and all that should, pretty much kind of be duking it out in the village, because that's what that was designed for. So right away, I'm going to go to the pretty much the point of contention on the northern half of the map, and I apologize if there are times where I do get a little loud. Sorry. So I'm going to go up here, and I have a little bit of gun depression to actually make this work. Not a lot, but of course it's not like I'm trying to fight on a ridge in Dragon's Ridge or something, some extreme hill. These are some gentle slopes, and I can make the 6 degrees of gun depression work. So I'm just going to be sitting up here taking shots of opportunity. I am being conscious of the fact that there is an STB-1 that would have absolutely no problem peeking over the ridge and dealing damage to me without me being able to retaliate. I do feel a little bit brave, though, as I saw that the E4 came up, and so at that point, he put a shot into the STB-1, and I was like, I got the health on him, I got the reload on him, or at least I hope I have the reload on him. I'm going to go push on him, and I'm going to get rid of him. So that's exactly what I did, and as you can see, it worked, and we took the hill and I pushed forward. I wanted to make sure that my team kept the momentum going, because stalling out often tends to lead to stagnation, which also tends to lead to a defeat, so I didn't want that to happen. Put some nice good snapshots into the M48 120, I believe that was. And so now we're just pushing forward, and again, it's like I've got the mobility. Like I said, I've got the mobility, I've got the reload, and I can just straight up constantly be on the move and harassing the enemy with the reload. You're noticing I'm kind of tending to stick with the light tanks because I'm just as mobile as them, and I can stick up with them and help. And as you can see, I managed to track this other M48 120. And I'm getting a good amount of assisted. As you can see already, there's still plenty of tanks left, and I am sitting at 2,500 raw damage at least, and 1,500 assisted. And of course, that number is steadily growing up as I'm managing to use my fast reload to help permatrack tanks for my teammates to shoot at, while still also able to do damage myself. So I managed to get a good snapshot into that, and we're just going to ignore me looking at the camera. That was a question asked during the live stream, and I just answered it real quick. But as you can see, the gun handling on this, especially when you have the right setup for it, you are very, very accurate, and you can do a good amount of damage on some very questionable shots that, prior to 6.0, you probably would not have been able to hit. Of course, after 6.0, most vehicles will probably be able to make the same shots as you. So I'm just sitting back. I'm kind of hull down, kind of also staying undetected, trying to also track tanks for my teammates to shoot. But of course, there are times where I'll just shoot and I'll get spotted. And yeah, I'm just managing to get some track assist, spot assist, and raw damage all in one go. Now, I'm working on trying to permatrack this 705A, and I believe for the most part it works, but he does manage to escape in time. and before I can keep him permatracked. As you can see, that's exactly what happened here. So I see that there are 2 other tanks to my right, and I'm aware of that. So I'm going to put this train here. I'm going to dip below the line. I'm just going to cut a snapshot on the Tusk, get rid of him real quick, because he could mess up my day if he gets ignored and swings around behind me. And now I'm going to push up on the 705A while he's distracted by something else. And so I'm, again, going to use the speed, momentum, swing around, take care of him, because he won't be able to keep his gun slewed on me while also trying to avoid getting shot from my teammates. Essentially, the game is over right now, but as you can see here, I have knocked up a very, very good game in this in the Object 140 here, where I have 5,100 assisted damage and almost 4,500 raw damage. So overall, we are looking at 9,500 combined damage. A very, very good game in the Object 140. And this was also the ace tanker for me in this vehicle. But that concludes today's video on how to play the Object 140. I'd like to thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed this video, hit that thumbs up. And if you want to see more videos like this one, don't forget to subscribe. But until next time, this has been Darren of WoTC Academy.